Hey there everybody, Jay from Jerry Tone Store here, and I'm super excited to get to talk about and demo some of the sounds from the new Osiris Philter Universal Edition. There's some changes from the original Osiris Philter, and I think they're reflected beautifully across a wide range of instruments. I've been watching gear demos and reviews on YouTube for many years now, and I know that 99% of you all skip the intro, so we're just going to get right into the sounds, and we're saving all the nerdy details for those who want to watch at the end. So feel free to use the chapter markers to navigate around, and I hope you enjoy. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Jay with Jerry Tone Store here, and I'm very excited because today I get to talk about this lovely product right here, the Osiris Philter. And this is the universal model, officially known as the 80 to 10.5 kilohertz edition. But because I find that a little bit of a mouthful on camera, I'm calling it the universal model. Universal model Osiris Philter, if you haven't followed the story, the original Osiris Philter was created last year after sort of a long lead up time, reverse engineering and discovering, researching, putting together lost history of the Mission Control Osiris, double name for the same bass, but Mission Control Osiris filters created by George Mundy for Phil Lesh's Mission Control bass. My friend Jason is the owner of this bass now, and he set off a couple years ago on a mission to really, find what was in this bass. When he got it, it had been so heavily messed with and torn apart. He basically had to do archaeology to find, or guitarchaeology, is that a word? Sorry, I'll see myself out. He had to do guitarchaeology to find the original parts, and he was able to send them to our buddy Waldo, our mutual friend, and he was able to reverse engineer them. Now, what we found is that for people who love Phil Lesh and love that tone and we're chasing it, it's absolutely perfect. It features signals that between the dry and the wet knob are out of phase, which, if you're Phil, that's how the original filters were. There's something to that sound that is just beautiful, on bass especially. What we found is when you're using the filter with other instruments, that especially a more treble dominant instrument, that sometimes between the lower range of 40 hertz to 7.5 kilohertz and between the out of phase signals, that you were losing some of the high end details that you might want to preserve as a trebly instrument player. So the answer to that was to make it so the phase is in line between the dry and the wet signals and adjust the frequency spectrum at which this filter sweeps just a little bit so that it's sort of optimized for instruments that are in that range. I'm obsessed with this thing. I was somewhat a user of the original filter. I got one for the demo, but not being a bassist myself who's able to take it out and regularly put hours in, I feel like I wasn't able to fully give it its due because it's just not built for the instrument that I play. And when I got this universal model, I put it on the board. First thing I did was combine it with an overdrive pedal that my friend Matt over at Doppler Effects makes. It's called the Ball Lightning, and it was game over for me. The thing's staying on my board forever, both pedals. But the Osiris Philter unlocked a world of difference on all these drive pedals, which I like drive, but I also am fatigued by square waves. And there's something about these settings where you're able to just fine tune the perfect sound. You can just fine tune your sound in any direction that you want in any increment. And so it can be really subtle or it can be very dramatic, and there's lots of potential. Now, Jason will be the first person to tell you this is not an effects pedal, it's an effects shaping device. It's a tool and it's designed to help enhance your sound and help modify it in little incremental ways. Although, as I said before, it can be dramatic if you want it to be. I have the bass filter here just because it's on a board and it's easier to show you all. I wouldn't be able to lift the board that the universal model is on, but there's a beautiful little different inlay than you're seeing here. Got the other star from the other part of Mission Control, the bass itself. I'll give you a quick overview of the controls here. You have 4 modes. The universal model and the original model are the same in operation. The only differences are the phase of the wet and dry signals, as well as that frequency shift and the inlay, of course. Now you have your 4 modes, starting with low pass, moving to band pass, going to high pass, and then you have the notch filter, which I always like to test myself and see if I'm able to correctly identify the frequencies I'm boosting. And boosting is really easy to hear. You'll find when you're using the notch filter, some inexperienced ears may go, is it even doing anything? But it is. It's just you're not as good at hearing cuts in signal as we are boosts. So I've spent more time personally on the low pass, the band pass, and the high pass, but there's some instances, particularly with, like, I think acoustic guitar notch filter could be really cool as you're trying to dial out some of those less welcome muddy frequencies that we find here in the acoustic land. Like 200-ish can be that for me, at least. Now we have the Q control, and I'm going to oversimplify Q for everybody. Just in this instance, it's a very scientific thing, but think of it as the peak of the resonant peak of any given frequency. And so wherever you set your frequency, you have a Q factor, and it's kind of a bell curve on either side of that frequency. That's a boost or a cut in case of notch filter. And as you change the Q, it will change the width and the sharpness sort of the peak. So it'll be narrow and tall, or very gradual and soft with a lower actual boost or cut. Now that we've gotten through the Q control, we're moving on to the frequency knob, which, as we know, on the original filter goes from 40 to 7.5 kilohertz. And then on the universal model, they've adjusted that for a little more, trebly instrument range. It's optimized for guitar, with the lowest fundamental being around 80 hertz that you're able to attenuate or boost. And then it goes up all the way to 10.5 kilohertz, which is really usable frequency range for us trebly instrument players. Personally, I can't ever imagine wanting to boost a frequency beyond 10.5 kilohertz. I think that's a super usable range. And 80 hertz is the lowest fundamental frequency of that sixth string, the E, on your guitar. So it's pretty optimized for that instrument. There's a world of potential with other instruments between keyboards, acoustic guitar, synthesizers. I have yet to use it on vocals, but I'm very curious. I may try to rig up a demo one day, but not today. Today we're just going to run through how the guitar sounds through it, how the keyboards sound through it. I am going to record a track direct into my computer, and then I'll be reamping it through the filter so that you can see what happens when I change the frequencies in pretty rapid succession. Now, I will say, as a player, this filter has been the kind of thing where I like to find one new frequency a day has been my rule, and I try to play with that frequency or setting, the setting on the filter for as long as I play guitar that day. I'm experimenting with that. I find that helps me understand the overall sound and how this can be used, rather than feeling like I'm chasing a tone aimlessly or randomly. But today, for the sake of the demo, so that you can hear the wide range of this device, I'm just going to be sweeping through knobs with no particular goal or strategy other than to show you the parameters of this thing. I've had a lot of fun. I feel like when you get pedals, and this is not a pedal, it doesn't have the on-off knob, it has the mix knobs, it's an effect shaping tool, but when I'm using it in a pedal format, it's on my pedal board. I have it in a true bypass looper where it's configured to have an on and off switch just like a pedal. I've found it to be a blessing and a curse, because the blessing side is that I'm finding these sounds that I've been searching for sometimes years and didn't ever think I was going to get. And so sometimes I'm pretty close to something and I've been able to, dial a frequency in with the filter, and suddenly there's the tone that I love. But then the curse part is I found new sounds that I like, and I don't know what to do with them yet. So I found a lot of tones where I'm like, oh, there's something there with that thing, but I'm having to store it for later use, because it's pretty overwhelming how many things you'll find that are usable in this. So I'm really grateful to Jason and Waldo, who took the time to really, set out on uncharted waters and find some pieces of history that were really hard to put together and properly reverse engineer them, and tweaking it for us guitar players and keyboard players and anybody who wants to use this thing in a more experimental context. With the shifted frequency band, it's the perfect tool for folks like myself who are in the middle of sound seeking. I'm just trying to find sounds that inspire me right now, and each time I find something new, I'm hearing what it could become in a musical form. But right now I've been very sonic focused, and this couldn't have come at a better time for that. I'm thrilled with the blessing curse aspect of finding so many sounds that I almost don't know what to do with them all. And yeah, I think my pitch for anybody who needs this product, it's the product for the folks who have tried everything and they're still searching for something more. It's the folks that are constantly tweaking with the sound. And yeah, I'm not saying that you're perpetually dissatisfied with how you sound, but for me, I found a couple sounds out of thousands and thousands and thousands of sounds that I've played with over my life. I found a couple that I really like. And with this pedal, I've found way more than a couple in just a few days. It really unlocked a new level for me. Now, if you're wondering if this effects device is for you, it can be used in whatever context you choose. If you want it to be, it's a luxury device. It carries a premium price. We understand that. It's got the beautiful furniture-grade wood on the front. It's probably not going to be your day one guitar player's first effects choice. But if they did buy it as their first effect, I wouldn't blame them, and I think that's a pretty cool decision. This is really for the person that's tried everything with their rig, and they're still searching for something more. I think you'll try this and you'll find the tones that you've been like, oh, there it is. It's so simple. And you think, 5 knobs isn't an insane amount of settings. It's so easy to find something that you love, and it's easy to find it live. You can keep most of your settings pretty locked all the time and just use the frequency knob to really dial in what you want. But I think this is the ultimate tool for tweaking your sound on a really in-depth level. And I don't think it's a common tool that people find in their arsenal. So I'm here to spread the word and prove the case that this is something for beyond just deadheads, beyond just the chasers of Phil Lesh's sound. This is something for sonic explorers and people who want to push the territory of what they've played before. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Thank you for listening. Alrighty, now I wanted to leave everybody with a nice, honest look at what using this thing looks like. And it's one of the hard parts about YouTube gear reviews. You want to make them look pretty and edited nicely, but then you don't actually get to see real life use. So I'm going to give you a raw, unfiltered look at what just tinkering with this effects unit can do for you. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing a guitar that I don't normally play, so I'm bound to find some new sounds that I like, and hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. My snare's on. It's a raw, unfiltered look. Alright, sweeping through the filter here. Here's just the filter sound. Turn all those verbs off. No filter. Here's the filter. like before. That's so cool. Oh my god. I'm playing with the frequency knob. And then you can hear it. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I'm sweeping through. You hear all the harmonics. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed. Oh my gosh. So I haven't played guitar a lot this week. Forgive me for my fingers being all rusty. But yeah, that's kind of what you get to do with it. Hope this was a helpful demo, and go out there and get you a filter. Cheers.